Meeting of the Westchester County Board of Legislators to order.
They're bringing them, they're making copies.
They're making copies of it. It's okay. If we all could please rise while Legislator Bill Ryan leads us in the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, give us the strength, courage, and wisdom to always act in this chamber in the interest of the best people of Westchester. Let's keep in mind that every decision that we make impacts upon the life, health, and safety of all our great county residents. Amen. Madam Clerk.
Majority Leader Harcum.
Here.
Minority Leader Mazzano. Ms. Borgia. Mr. Burrows. Mr. Gelfarb. Mr. Kaplowitz.
Present.
Ms. Marcotte. Ms. Myers.
Here.
Ms. Perez. Mr. Ryan.
Here.
Ms. Shimsky.
Here.
Mr. Smith. Ms. Spreckman. Mr. Testa.
Here.
Ms. Williams. Here. Mr. Williams. Mr. Chairman.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thanks. What are we doing? Is that just receiving? What are we doing? Let me talk to Joe. All right, Mr. Harcum, on the consent agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chair, without modification.
Thank you. Mr. Mazzano. Mr. Williams. All right, we're on consent, members. Mr. Harcum, for the minutes approval.
At this time, would move the minutes from the Monday, November 25th meeting that was held at 7 p.m.
Without objection, members. So ordered. Madam Clerk.
For public comment, each speaker shall be limited to 3 minutes. I'll call the names of the speakers and ask that you please come down the aisle to my left. William Stark, Christopher Bradbury.
Thank you. I'm here to speak on item that appears under Standing Committee's item number 5, which relates to setting a date for a calendar date for a discussion relating to Signature Flight Corporation. My name is William Stark. I'm superintendent of the Blindbrook Rye Union Free School District. We are very concerned about the item that appears there because of the fact that this has a rather significant impact upon the tax structure for the Blindbrook School District. It could result in an increase in taxes of approximately $600,000 per year, plus any agreements that would take place prior to that time. You can look at this several ways. One way you can look at it is that's 4 teachers in terms of employment. Another way you can look at it is that that's approximately $1,000 per household in the Blindbrook Union Free School District if we talk about any back taxes that would come out of this issue. And another way that you can look at it is that we employ approximately 250 individuals well over 90% of them live in Westchester County, and they would be impacted by this. Because of the significance of this particular issue, and we understand that there have been negotiations that have taken place in this regard, we ask that this issue be placed on the next calendar for adjudication by the board so that the district can understand what its future is. We're in the process of setting up budgetary proposals for next year, and we'd really like to know about this as soon as possible so that in the interest of transparency, we can provide the voters with an understanding of what the expectations are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christopher Bradbury.
Tina.
Thank you for the opportunity to address the Board of Legislators this morning. I'm here to speak on the same topic as Superintendent Stark. My name is Chris Bradbury. I'm the Rybrook Village Administrator, and I'm here today to representing the Rybrook Village Board on this important matter with signature. Later today on your agenda, under Standing Committees, item number 5 is an item of incredible importance to the Village of Rybrook. In fact, I'd say there's no item that's more important to Rybrook and our community at this time. This item will be setting a public hearing on a local law that will result in a new lease agreement with Signature Flight Support Group at the county airport. As a result of this agreement, Signature would not pursue tax-exempt status and would continue with costly litigation that continues and comes with significant risk to the county, the town, the school district, and the village. Collectively, the fixed-based operators at the airport are the 4th largest taxpayers in Rybrook. Signature alone pays over $700,000 a year to the county, the village, the school district, and the town. So we all have a lot to lose should this not go forward, and both now and in the future. So I please urge you to set the public hearing today and approve this local law on your next agenda. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have no other cards.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Harcum.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Andrea is handing out a correspondence from the county executive. I would like to add, by consent, the November 25th letter, which was a veto message regarding Dennis Meal, to the agenda.
So, Mr. Harcum, we're adding an item for reconsideration of the vote as an agenda item. No objection. Mr. Mazzano, no objection. Members without objection? So ordered. It's added on the agenda as the last item. Madam Clerk, unfinished business.
All of the items under unfinished business today were held over from the November 25th, 2013 regular meeting and appear here as items of unfinished business for committee referral only. First item, 6520, is a bond act authorizing the issuance of $2,150,000 in bonds of the county to finance capital projects SPC 03, Portchester WWTP electrical system upgrade.
Mr. Harcum.
A motion to receive and file, Mr. Chair.
It's been moved to receive and file. Second, Mr. Mazzano. Without objection, members, so ordered.
There's going to be a series of items that we're going to be receiving and filing. We just want to state for the record, these are items because they came up late in the session that we'll be dealing with in January and moving forward on these. It's not like they're not going to happen. We're just procedurally putting them into next year.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mazzano. Mr. Harcum.
Yeah, just wish to add to the record that we concur with Mr. Mazzano's sentiments and opinion.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Harcum. So, members without objection, so ordered.
The next item, 6523, is a resolution to set a public hearing on a proposal to issue a bond act in the amount of $600,000, which includes $2 million in previously authorized bonds of the county to finance capital project SY020 Tarrytown Force Main Replacement.
Mr. Harkam.
Motion to receive and file.
Second. Members without objection? Thank you. So ordered.
Approved 16-0. Item 6525 is an act amending the 2013 county capital budget appropriations for capital project SY020 Tarrytown Force Main Replacement.
Mr. Harkam.
Motion to receive and file.
Second by Mrs. Maisano. Members without objection? So ordered.
Approved 16-0. Item 6526 is a bond act amending Bond Act 137, 2011, authorizing the issuance of $2 million in bonds to finance capital project SY020 Tarrytown Force Main.
Mr. Harkam.
Motion to receive and file.
Second by Mr. Maisano. Without objection? So ordered.
Approved 16-0. Item 6528 is an act authorizing the county to take all steps deemed necessary to acquire an approximately .50 acre parcel property located adjacent to the Tarrytown pump station from the current owner of record and to authorize acquisition of any property rights necessary to facilitate the replacement of the pressurized section of the Tarrytown Force Main.
Mr. Harkam.
Motion to receive and file.
Second by Mr. Maisano. Without objection? So ordered.
Approved 16-0. Item 6529, an amended bond act reducing Bond Act 189, 2009 by $798,000, which finance capital project SMO16 Mamaroneck Wastewater Treatment Plant primary, secondary, heating and chemical handling upgrades, design and construction management.
Mr. Harkam.
Motion to receive and file.
Mr. Maisano, second. Without objection? So ordered.
Approved 16-0. Item 6530, a bond act authorizing the issuance of an additional $6,798,000 in bonds of the county to finance capital project SMO16, primary, secondary, heating and chemical handling upgrades, construction, and additional design costs.
Mr. Harkam.
A motion to receive and file.
Mr. Maisano, seconds. Without objection? So ordered.
Approved 16-0. Takes us to standing committees. Item 6307 from the Committees on Budget and Appropriations and Government Operations, a bond act authorizing the issuance of $2,050,000 in county bonds to finance capital project BES 11 Emergency Communications Center renovations.
Ms. Myers.
Yes, thank you. Budget and Appropriations Committee took a look at this bond act and determined that upon receipt of a cost breakdown that we would be very happy to move this forward. And indeed, we did sign this out of committee, and in the interim, we have indeed received the cost breakdown for this Emergency Communications Center renovation, BES 11, which does reflect all of the different breakouts for HVAC, electrical, floors, the contingency, design, construction management, et cetera, to the total of $2,050,000 for a bond. I would like to pass this over to Legislator Borgia for description of the actual activity. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Borgia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As Legislator Myers said, the Committee on Budget met twice on this, and we met jointly with Government Operations. The work is necessary, in our opinion, and it does include the design, construction, and construction management. It's atypical that we handle all of these things together, but because of the nature of the work, it made sense to do that all together. And the work is going to include purchase and installation of technology equipment, computer-aided dispatch, some HVAC and other types of technology that will make the operations there run more efficiently. So Government Operations is in concurrence that this matter should move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Borgia. Members on this item. Madam Clerk, a long roll call vote.
Mr. Harkam.
Yes.
Mr. Maisano. Ms. Borgia.
Yes.
Mr. Burrows. Mr. Gilmore. Mr. Kaplowitz.
Aye.
Ms. Marcotte. Ms. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Ryan?
Yes.
Ms. Shimsky?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Testa? Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Williams? Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Approved 16-0. Item 6519 from the Committees on Budget and Appropriations and Government Operations, an act authorizing the county to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the Pound Ridge Fire District for the provision of fire protection services to county facilities located in the northern part of the Ward Pound Ridge Reservation.
Ms. Myers?
Yes, this is an item that has been passed forward through Budget and Appropriations. This is an act that does authorize the county to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the Pound Ridge Fire District to provide fire protection services specifically in the northern part of the Ward Pound Ridge Reservation, which is a county facility. And for this, the district will be paid the sum of $10,000 a year with a total contract amount not to exceed $20,000. I will pass this over to Government Operations for further comment.
Thank you, Ms. Myers. Ms. Borgia?
Government Operations concurs and moves this item. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Harkam?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As many of you know, Ward Pound Reservation is the largest county park by far, over 3,000 acres. The Pound Ridge Fire District has always covered the Pound Ridge section, but much of the park lies in Lewisboro, and it is too remote, and there's no access for the Lewisboro fire departments. There are 3 of them to access the park. So this would be in agreement for the Pound Ridge Fire District that does have access to get to the Lewisboro portion of the park. It's all wilderness. If we remember just last month, the wildfires in Rockland County, the fire potential is very, very real in dry seasons. So this is a prudent deal for the county.
Thank you, Mr. Harkam. Other members? Unless there's objections, members, we'll take the prior long roll call vote for the approval of the item. So ordered.
Approved 16-0. Item 6538 is the appointment of John Nona as a member of the Westchester Community College Board of Trustees for a term to expire December 31st, 2020.
Ms. Shimsky?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Former legislator Nona is well known to everyone in this chamber. He has generously put himself forth to become a trustee of the community college. The Appointments Committee interviewed Mr. Nona and found that he's highly motivated and that he does have a skill set which will be very helpful, so we therefore support his nomination, or his confirmation today.
Thank you, Ms. Shimsky. Members on this item? Madam Clerk, a short roll call.
Ms. Shimsky?
Aye.
Mr. Harkam?
Aye.
Mr. Mazzano? Mr. Chairman?
Aye.
Approved 16-0. Item 6539 from the Committee on Appointments is the reappointment of Tony Cox Burns as a member of the Westchester Community College Board of Trustees for a term to expire December 31st, 2020.
Ms. Shimsky?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Cox Burns has served the Community College Board well over the last number of years, and the Appointments Committee therefore recommends her reappointment today.
Thank you, Ms. Shimsky. Members on this item? Unless there's an objection, members will take the prior short roll call vote for the approval of the item. So ordered.
Approved 16-0. Item 6481 from the Committees on Budget and Appropriations and Government Operations is a resolution setting a public hearing on a local law authorizing the county to consent to the assignment of lease agreements with 41 North 73 West, Inc., doing business as Habitat Westchester and Jet Systems for Hangar E at the county airport, and West Air Aviation for Hangar M to Signature Flight Support Corp. 2, to amend the Jet Systems lease to permit the assignment to a current fixed-base operator at the airport. 3, amend a separate lease with Signature for Hangars A, C2, and G to permit the early exercise of a renewal option.
Ms. Myers.
Yes, I'd like to move this resolution that would set a public hearing on the amended local law that was just passed out of Budget and Appropriations and Government Operations that will authorize the county to consent to the assignment of leases and amend the jet systems lease. This would be put on to the agenda for a public hearing on December 16th at 7 o'clock in the evening. So moved.
So, Ms. Myers, you're amending the resolution. Are you going to substitute the resolution? That's,
Yes, I'd like to substitute the approved resolution ID number 6481 for the one that had been originally passed through the committee.
understood. So, Ms. Myers, in front of everyone right now, we do have the amended legislation. So, members, in front of you is the amended legislation, which would be the subject of the public hearing that would be set for the 16th at 7:30.
7:30.
Hmm?
I said 7.
7? Okay, 7 o'clock. 7.
7.
7
or 7:30?
7? Okay. Can we have a short roll call vote for the approval of the public hearing for 7 p.m. on December 16th with the amended resolution ID number 6481? Okay, we can do that. So let's have a long roll call vote for the approval of the setting the public hearing.
Mr. Harkam.
Yes.
Mr. Maisano. Ms. Borgia.
Yes.
Mr. Burrows. Mr. Gelfarb. Mr. Kaplowitz.
Aye.
Ms. Marcotte. Ms. Myers.
Yes.
Ms. Perez.
Yes.
Mr. Ryan.
Yes.
Ms. Shimsky.
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Testa. Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Williams. Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Approved 15-1. Item 6548 from the Committee on Appointments is a joint resolution appointing Dr. Shaw, Dr. Silverman, and Dr. Heptula to the Westchester County Department of Labs and Research Board of Managers for a term to expire December 31st, 2016.
Ms. Shimsky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Appointments Committee interviewed Drs. Shaw, Silverman, and Heptula at three of their regular scheduled meetings. We have found all three to be well qualified for the job.
Thank you, Ms. Shimsky. Members on this item. I would want to note that the reason that they're being brought at this time is because it's necessary for a part of the budget process, Ms. Shimsky?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The major task for the Labs and Research Advisory Board is to pass on the fee schedule for our labs and research for their outside contracts, and we need that amended fee schedule in order to hit our budget figures.
Thank you, Ms. Shimsky. Members on this item, other members. Madam Clerk, a long roll call vote.
Mr. Harkam.
Yes.
Mr. Maisano. Ms. Borgia.
Yes.
Mr. Burrows. Mr. Gelfarb. Mr. Kaplowitz.
Aye.
Ms. Marcotte. Ms. Myers.
Yes.
Ms. Perez.
Yes.
Mr. Ryan.
Yes.
Ms. Shimsky.
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Testa. Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Williams. Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Approved 16-0. Item 6549 from the Committee on Budget and Appropriations is an act amending Act Number 26-1952 as amended, which amended Act Number 40-1941 entitled Establishing Personnel Rules in Westchester County Service and Adopting Classification of Positions and Schedules of Pay.
Ms. Myers.
Yes, Committee on Budget and Appropriations has reviewed the act that would incorporate the recommendations of the district attorney and submitted on her behalf by the chair requiring an amendment to the county's pay plan. This is an increase for the district attorney's office that is a second step following a first step increase that was effective last January 1st, 2013. The new salary takes into account the 2013 Assistant District Attorney salaries and adds a 5% raise effective July 1, 2014. Prior to these increases, Assistant District Attorneys had not had a salary increase since 2007. The Budget and Appropriations Committee moved this forward for today's vote. So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Myers. Members on this item. Unless there's objection, members will take the prior long roll call vote for the approval of the item. So ordered.
Approved 16-0. Item 6209 from the Committees on Budget and Appropriations and Government Operations, an act authorizing the county to release any rights in real property located at 90 Ringgold Street, Peekskill, New York, necessary to subordinate 2 home mortgages and 2 CDBG mortgages held by the county on the real property comprising the Drum Hill Senior Living Housing Development, and modify the terms of the mortgages and promissory notes secured by said mortgages.
Ms. Myers.
Yes, Budget and Appropriations approved this act, and I will turn this over to Government Operations to talk about the implications of the release of property rights located at 90 Ringgold Street in Peekskill.
Thank you, Ms. Myers. Ms. Borgia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Government Operations has taken this matter up twice. Earlier this year, this came before us, and after speaking with the Planning Department, we found that there was some further action that needed to be taken by the developer in order to authorize this refinancing. The developer was able to meet the obligations that the Planning Department had asked for, and this will allow the developer to, at this senior living site located at 90 Ringgold Street in Peekskill called Drum Hill, and it provides a very good service to the community, not only to Peekskill but for many surrounding communities, including most of the communities that I represent actually have people living in this particular facility. This legislation allows the developer to do a refinancing, the terms of which is to refinance the proposed first mortgage for the principal amount of $14 million amortized over a 25-year period with a 10-year repayment, so a balloon payment interest rate at 5.25, which is 1.125 lower than the existing mortgage that they received through the IDA. The freeing up of this cash will allow the developer to do really necessary repairs on this building. It was an old school that was repurposed. It's a beautiful building, but it does need some external repairs as well as a generator. It does serve a very needy elderly population, and especially with recent storms, the generator has proved to be a real necessity to maintain the health, safety, and welfare of the residents of this community. So after a couple of go-arounds, I think the developer's met all of his obligations, and at this point, Government Operations would like to move that we proceed with this item.
Thank you, Ms. Borgia. Members on this item. Unless there's objection, members will take a prior long roll call vote for the approval of the item. So ordered.
Approved 16-0. Under special orders, item 6551 from the Chairman of the Board is the appointment of John McCaffrey as the Chief Information Officer of the County Department of Information Technology, effective September 21st, 2012.
Members, in front of you are a series of special orders that are communications from the county executive. They're in front of you for your consideration at this opportunity and time. Certainly, you should feel free to make any comments on the record. The first one is for the Chief Information Officer. Members on this item. All right, unless there's objection, members, we'll take the prior long roll call vote for the approval of the item. So ordered.
Approved 16-0. Item 6552 is the appointment of Kunjalita Ashar as a pathologist medical examiner for the county, effective September 24th, 2012.
Members on this item. Unless there's objection, members will take the prior long roll call vote for the approval of the item. So ordered.
Approved 16-0. Item 6553 is the appointment of Melissa States as the Acting Commissioner of the County Department of Community Mental Health effective July 6, 2013.
Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I object to the appointment on the grounds that in accordance with the official compilation of codes for regulations of the State of New York for the Department of Mental Hygiene, Chapter 6, Part 102, Number 6, it says that when a local government appoints a Director of Community Services with an administrative degree, as defined in paragraph A5 of this section, the local government unit shall also designate a senior level clinician with responsibilities for supervision of clinical services. Such designee shall have a clinical degree and licensure or certification in addition to demonstrated clinical work experience. I would like for the administration to provide us with the name of this clinician prior to the appointment of Ms. Stats. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. For this particular, for that particular consideration, what we will do for this specific item is postpone this item to a time certain so that we can deal with the questions that were just brought up. If the administration, we can table it for right now and ask the administration to get it back to us by our budget meeting. That would be helpful. Or we can postpone it to the 16th. What are your pleasures, members? Okay, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Harcum, Mr. Mazzano, your motion on this, Mr. Harcum.
Yes, Mr. Chair, that we just postpone this till our budget meeting later today. We'll get the information requested by Legislator Williams from the administration, and then we'll be ready to take action then.
Okay, Mr. Mazzano? Second. All right, the item's postponed to the second meeting. Yes, we can. To postpone it? To postpone it? The motion is to postpone it to a time certain, which is the second meeting that we're having today. Madam Clerk, a long roll call.
Mr. Harcum.
Yes.
Mr. Mazzano. Ms. Borgia.
Yes.
Mr. Burrows. Mr. Gelfarb. Mr. Kaplowitz.
Aye.
Ms. Marcotte. Ms. Myers.
Yes.
Ms. Perez.
Yes.
Mr. Ryan.
Yes.
Ms. Shimsky.
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Spreckman. Mr. Testa. Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Williams. Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Approved 16-1. Item 6554 from the Chairman of the Board is the appointment of Jay Pisco as Commissioner of Public Works and Transportation for a term to commence on January 23rd, 2012.
Members on this item. Madam Clerk, long roll call.
Mr. Harcum.
Yes.
Mr. Mazzano. Ms. Borgia?
Yes.
Mr. Burrows? Mr. Gelfarb? Mr. Kaplowitz?
Aye.
Ms. Marcotte? Ms. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Ryan?
Yes.
Ms. Shimsky? Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Spreckman? Mr. Testa? Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Williams? Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Approved 16-0. Item 6555 is the appointment of Mary Mann as Director of Real Estate for the county effective July 1st, 2013.
Members on this item? Unless there's objection, members, we'll take the prior long roll call vote for the approval of the item. So ordered.
Approved 16-0. 16. Okay. Item 6556 is the appointment of Iris Pagan as Executive Director of the County Youth Bureau effective December 10, 2012.
Members on this item? Unless there's objection, members, we'll take the prior long roll call vote for the approval of the item. So ordered.
Approved 16-0. Item 6557 is the appointment of Robin Schlaff as Executive Director of the County Office of Women, effective July 8, 2013.
Members on this item? Madam Clerk, a long roll call.
Mr. Harkam.
Yes.
Mr. Mazzano. Yes. Ms. Borgia.
Yes.
Mr. Burrows. Mr. Gelfarb. Mr. Kaplowitz.
Aye.
Ms. Marcotte. Ms. Myers.
Yes.
Ms. Perez.
Yes.
Mr. Ryan.
Yes.
Ms. Shimsky. Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Spreckman. Mr. Testa. Ms. Williams. Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
15-1. Motions, resolutions, call of the districts.
Mr. Harkam has an additional item. Wait, wait.
Oh, I didn't.
The item for reconsideration is a veto of an act appointing Dennis Meal as a voting director to the governing board of the Westchester County Healthcare Corporation.
Before us, members, is motion to reconsider this item. Madam Clerk, a long roll call vote.
Mr. Harkam.
Yes.
Mr. Mazzano. Ms. Borgia.
Yes.
Mr. Burrows. Mr. Gelfarb. Mr. Kaplowitz.
Aye.
Ms. Marcotte. Ms. Myers.
Yes.
Ms. Perez.
Yes.
Mr. Ryan.
Yes.
Ms. Shimsky. Mr. Smith. Ms. Spreckman. Mr. Testa. Ms. Williams. Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Approved 17-0. Motions, resolutions, call of the districts.
Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just let me point of correction. My name, I think there's a spelling in my name at the end. It's with an O, not an I. I understand that. Hit the wrong key. But I stand to place on the resolution, memorial resolution, the name of the Honorable Nelson Mandela, who has passed over this week. You remember Mr. Mandela, the president of, the first black president of South Africa, and reflecting upon the great man that he was, a great leader, a person who spent 27 years in prison of his life simply for demanding basic human rights and equality for all South Africans. A man who suffered adversity with courage, grace, and utmost dignity. A man who walked out of prison not with a clenched fist of anger, but with an outstretched arm of forgiveness and reconciliation to his captors. A person who championed peaceful democracy that has been an inspiration and admiration for the entire world, and one whose legacy has inspired all of us, regardless of race, that our human character is made up more than the adversities that we may encounter in our lifespan, but look to the future for what is positive and what we can do as persons. I know that all of the legislators here, and I know this legislature prior to me getting on here, were in part participated in, I think, voting for disinvestment in, against the apartheid system. And I want to just reflect that for the record and to say that while we mourn the death of President Mandela, we do so with great admiration for the great leader that he was. Thank you.
And all legislators joining. Ms. Marcotte.
I'd like to add the name of Matthew Sabatino to the memorial resolutions.
Thank you, Ms. Marcotte. Ms. Borgia.
I'd like to ask my colleagues to join me on two resolutions. Two of the victims of the Metro-North train derailment, James Ferrari, who lived in Buchanan in my district, and Kisuk An, who actually worked in a home for children in Ossining.
All members. Other members? All right. If we could all rise to observe a moment of silence for those mentioned in the memorial resolutions. Specifically, President Mandela. Mr. Harcum.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Would ask all legislators to remain in place because I'm going to move to adjourn this meeting to reconvene immediately thereafter.
Mr. Mazzano. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Harcum.
Yes.
Mr. Mazzano. Mr. Williams. Mr. Chairman.
Yes. On the motion of Mr. Harcum, the board stands adjourned. Members take a bio break, but it'll be 2 minutes till they can change the tape. They're telling me we're ready to go. Okay, so let's stay standing, and this way we can go right into the special meeting of the Board of Legislators, specifically regarding our budget vote. I'm going to have Mr. Ryan do the honors again for doing the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Very good. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, give us the strength, courage, and wisdom to always act in the best interest of the people of Westchester while we're in this chamber. Let us keep in mind that every decision that we make impacts upon the life, health, and safety of all our great county residents. Amen. Members, I'm calling a recess of this particular meeting, and it will be back at the call of the chair. So ordered. We're on recess.